Hi everyone, Hope King here from Elementary Shenanigans, and as many of you know, I have been doing a series on my blog this summer called Set the Stage to Engage, where I am giving ideas and tips and tricks and lesson ideas about how you can engage your learners in your classroom. As a teacher, I think that's definitely one of the most important jobs that we have, is finding ways to engage our learners, get them excited about learning so that they can't wait to get inside that door, they can't wait to get inside the classroom, because once we have them hook, line, and sinker, then we can pretty much teach them anything that we want to. We can teach, above our standards. We can push the envelope and, get some higher level questioning and higher level thinking in. But first, we have to really get their attention. And in today's world and in today's society, it is what it is. We're competing with technology and video games and 3D movies and 4D experiences. And so our classrooms have to have those types of things as well. And while we might not be able to have a movie theater or something like that in our classroom, we've got to think of ways that really gets our kids excited and makes them want to be there. Because when kids want to learn, we can teach them so much more than if they have to learn. So today on my Set the Stage to Engage session, or series, I have posted about different games that I use in the classroom, as I already mentioned. So I'm going to show you one quick game. It's probably one of my kids' favorite games, and it's really easy to play, so I'm going to show you how to do that right now. And then for more games, you can go to my blog. It's www.elementaryShenanigans.com, and there's tons of ideas. And then below that post at the very bottom is also some other posts that I've done about turning my classroom into a spy lab, about how I use music in my classroom, so you might want to check those out as well. So this game, just quickly, is called Headbandz. So for this game, you're going to need a headband, and you're going to have to look a little bit crazy, and that's okay. So you're going to put the headband on like so. Then what your students need, and I usually, let me just go ahead and say this. I know I look a little crazy. If you get to know me at all, you'll know that I'm totally fine with that. But this game, really with any game, one thing that is super important is that we're keeping kids engaged during that time. So it's not just the game that's going to engage them. It should be the content as well. So it's important that, I think back to when I played games early on in my career, and we've all played a game of Jeopardy, and I love Jeopardy, and I still play Jeopardy, in my classroom currently. But I think back to putting my kids into groups of 5 or 6, and then, I would give them a little whiteboard, and I would say, all right, discuss your answer as a group, and then we'll see what you think is the correct answer and why. And so, now that I have had some experience under my belt, I kind of laugh at that, because I'm like, what was really going on during that time? Well, more times than not, it was, the kids letting the smartest person in the group answer the question, and the rest of them are excited, not because they're playing a game, but because they don't have to do anything for the next 15, 20 minutes. And so, as teachers, every single second is precious to us. So we have to be very intentional about how we play games and making sure that every single student is accountable. There's nobody that can be invisible. They can't hide behind the smartest person. Every single person is, or every single student is making the most out of that game time. So for this game, I put the students into pairs, partners. And so that way, we don't get into that whole, we have 3 or 4 people guessing what is on, or helping the individual guess what's on their forehead, because really that turns into maybe one person doing that. So for this game, I put them into partners. Again, it's called Headbandz. And what you have to do with your content is you have to create word cards. So this is kind of just some simple 2nd grade content. I use this in my 5th and 6th grade classroom as well. I'll explain how I do that in a minute. But for this one, it's just basic 2nd grade vocabulary. I kind of have a mix. So for you, when you play this, you're going to want to decide what your content is and put some of those vocabulary words on cards like so. Now, my kids have found that if you put all of the cards in the headband at once, it's much more efficient. So you're going to kind of look like this. So what happens is your partner across from you is doing anything they can to help you, to help you figure out this word right here. So they're describing it, they're giving you examples, but they cannot tell you the word, they cannot spell the word, they cannot tell you what the word starts with or begins with. They have to try to get you to figure out what word is on your head by describing the vocabulary word. So then once they get it correct, they simply take the word out and they set it to the side, and that's one word that is correct. Now, I've done this a lot of different ways. As you can see, the next word is mammal, so they'd be trying to describe mammal. I just did some mixed content so you could see how it worked. But I have done this with my 5th and 6th graders in my classroom, and I do it with figurative language. So what happens is they have different words or different types of figurative language on the card. So I'll have similes and metaphors and hyperboles and euphemism and all the different types of figurative language that we're studying. But I tell the kids, I say, here's the thing you can do. or here's the thing you can't do. You cannot tell them the definition to whatever figurative language is on your head. You have to give them examples. So then this game quickly becomes kind of a higher level thinking because they're no longer just identifying, they're actually creating examples. So that's another thing that I try to do when I'm playing games with my kids is I try to think of ways that I can take the game to the next level, and it's not just kind of, a worksheet turned into games. It's more of that application because that's what really shows you that kids understand the content that they're studying. So again, on these, I'll just show you a few more. They would try to describe mammal. If they get it correct, they would take it and set it to the side. Here is cause and effect. Also, let me just mention this before I take this off and stop looking so crazy. But I also did this with my 5th and 6th graders with text structures. And so I did cause and effect, description, sequencing, problem solution. And I told them, I said, you can't give the definition. You have to give an example of what that text would sound like, what kind of information and how that information would be organized in the text. Talk about hard, really hard. The kids struggled with it. We actually played it multiple times. But you know what? At the beginning, it's okay that they were struggling with it. They knew the definition to cause and effect, but trying to create those examples, I'm taking them from identifying to applying, and they're actually becoming the author. So love this game. The kids love it too. And then at the end, it's all about who has the most correct. So now I'm going to take those off and get this off for just a second. Fix my hair up a little bit. All right, so now I don't look so crazy anymore. But that game is called Headbandz. The kids love it. Again, as a teacher, think about ways that you can take games and kind of stretch them, take them to the next level. So it's not just so much about identification, it's also about application and really getting the kids to think at higher levels. So the kids love that game. I've posted more games on my blog, some with frisbees. I've posted one called Headhunters. So you'll definitely want to go and check those out on my blog. I'll post the link right below here in the comments so you can check that out for yourself. And also at the bottom of that post is information about other posts in that series. I've done one where I did a spy lab in my classroom. We were studying nonfiction. We've done super roots where my kids actually turned a root, a Greek or a Latin root, into a superhero. So that's on there as well. So I would love for you to check some of those out. And I hope you enjoyed this game, and I hope that it's a tip that you can use with your kids to engage your learners and get them excited about whatever content you're studying. Hope you all have a great day. Bye!